All right, here we are.
So, I didn't get a chance to explain this last week, but something Father Gifford and I are going to do every week is have this little coffee and question session where you guys can write down, yes,
Is your C for coffee or Kaylee?
um, either.
Okay, fair enough.
And his says world's best boss. So every week, I just really like coffee and I like coffee mugs. So every week, I'm going to bring a different coffee mug in so you can see my different collection. Also, when it gets closer to Christmas, I have lots of fun like Christmas mugs with like jingle bells on them. So I'm very excited for that. Okay, anyway, so back to what this is you guys can write down questions every week. We have a little question box, and then Father and I will sit here and answer your questions. So your questions can be anything about like what our favorite Bible verse is, what our favorite saints are. If you have a specific question about like a church teaching, you can ask that. But Father and I will like go through every week and answer the questions for you. So,
Very good. Can I ask the first question?
Yes.
Is this a chair or a hole? And my follow-up question is, am I supposed to sit in it or sink into it?
I don't know. So that actually was mine. I got it from Santa when I was in 4th grade.
Oh, how nice of Santa.
Yes. I sat in it a lot. Not the comfiest chair ever, but it was cool, so I used it.
Fair enough.
So I don't really know the answer to that question.
All right.
Okay, well, we have a question. Let's see. So to start this coffee and questions off, it says, if I make mistakes, will God still love me?
Great question. The answer, of course, is yes. God will always love you. I think it's something that's easy to forget. On one hand, it's easy to take for granted, right? Like, of course, I see it on bumper stickers and, Jesus loves me, all of this, but to really like take a step back and realize, wait a second, no, I don't have to earn his love. Like, in fact, his perfect revelation of his love for us is shown for us on the cross, right? When we hurt him, when we offended him, when we literally killed him, and in his perfect love, he looks down upon us with nothing but mercy, nothing but compassion, begging the Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I think sometimes maybe even when we go to confession, we might fall into the trap of thinking that we're somehow doing this so that God can love us again, when in fact we're able to go to confession, to be reconciled, to come back to our Father and to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, because even in our sinfulness, that he does love us, that he never stopped loving us, and his love continually draws us back to himself. And I think that's always the first step, to realize that he loves us in our sinfulness. It doesn't mean that he wants us to remain in that sinfulness. That's kind of part of the point, right? Is that in his great love, he's wanting to draw us back to himself. And I think there's also something to be considered about the difference between sins and mistakes, right? If I remember right, I think the question was worded as, even if I make mistakes, right? Well, it's very, very easy to love someone when they make a mistake. Sometimes people's honest mistakes, like, will have a negative impact on someone. But at the same time, like, if I can take a step back, let's say I'm negatively impacted. Like, let's say you made an honest mistake and you bumped into me with your coffee, right, and spilled your coffee all over me, and I'm upset. But I can acknowledge you made an honest mistake, right? You didn't willfully, like, here's Father, I'm going to throw my coffee on him, right? Like, I can acknowledge that it was a mistake, and I may be upset, but if I take a step back and think reasonably, it's really very easy for me to forgive you, because I know that you didn't intentionally do something wrong. When we sin is actually something different than a mistake, that we know what we do is wrong, and we do it anyway, right? And that's part of the process of growing and maturing is making those distinctions and honestly owning up to what is a mistake and what is a sin. But part of the reason for remembering that is because, like I said, it's easy to forgive a mistake, but it shows forth God's perfect love. That even when we willfully sin against him, when we willfully disobey him, when we willfully say, God, I know you want me to do this, but I want to do that, and so I'm going to go ahead and do what I want. That even in that, he looks on us with love and says, no, my child, come home to me. Let me forgive you. Let me renew you with my love and my grace and renew you in the strength to persevere. So the answer is yes. He will always love you.
Yay!
Yay!
Cool. Well, that is the only question we have for this week. But if you guys have more questions, please write them down and put them in our question box, which I don't have to show you right now, but it's somewhere. So that'll be out, and we will come back and do this again. So